Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to present here in Login, especially after having heard the words of the Lithuanian president and after that Martin Cooper. I'm really delighted to have the stage after them. I'm going to speak to you about Internet of Everything. Connect the unconnected. But before I start, I'd like to roll one video, short video about the Internet of Everything. And let's move.
This is the cat that drank the milk and let in the dog that jumped on the woman who brewed the coffee.
Brew coffee.
That woke the man who was late for work.
All right, I gotta go.
And drove the car
Driverless mode engaged.
that found the parking spot.
Find parking space.
Parking space found.
That alerted the door that opened the control room.
Hey, Bob.
That secured the data, that directed the turbines, that powered the sprinklers, that watered the grass, that fed the cow, that made the milk, that went to the store, that reminded the man to buy the milk. It was poured by the girl who loved the cat that drank the milk. The Internet of Everything is changing everything. Cisco, tomorrow starts here.
Okay, a little bit glimpse from the future. Now, we think that we live in a connected world, and we indeed live in a connected world. But can you get their slides on this as well? Yep. So it's fact is that 99.4% only of the things which exist in the world are connected. So there's a long way to go to do this. So it's only 10 billion things which are connected to Internet, and there will be another 1.5 trillion. Trillion is thousands times billion connected, are not connected yet in the Internet. And obviously the consumer sector, us at home, at work, have most of the things in the world. It's not, I'm not speaking about mobile phones and other things, just normal things like cattle and whatever you have back home there. Everybody has about, on average, about 200 things in the Western world. But Western world is only 14% of the people, and it means that there is another 86% of people who don't have that many things to get connected and take advantage of that. So therefore, totally, almost all things have not yet connected to Internet, and they will. In my if you look at the development there, today we have about 10 billion things connected to Internet, as I said. Before we didn't have anything. I was last night in a hotel Comfort Inn, and they had a little rabbit there, and there was kind of text that he has some ideas for each week. One thing on anecdote for this week was that times were so good a couple of years back or 10 years back when most of the people thought that apple and blackberry are fruits. And that was the time 1995 to 2000. 200 million things connected like last 10 years. It's mainly about the smartphones and those kind of things, GPS devices and so on. But we are heading towards 5 billion things. And today we are living in the beginning of the Internet of Things era, and I will speak about that, but I will also speak about Internet of Everything. I will come back to that, what is the difference in terminology. So the Internet of Everything basically means more than Internet of Things. Internet of Things, you put whatever thing you're going to put in the internet, connect in the internet. If you have an input device or output device connected to internet and to the cloud where you have data analytics, then that's your Internet of Things. You can do every dull thing very intelligent through that. But when we take all the processes, data analytics, things and people in the picture, then we start to speak about Internet of Things. So then we can turn these connections to actions, digitalize different processes, and have a big opportunity for growth in various businesses. Not only our everyday life, but the businesses in different vertical industries can take advantage of this development. So what is the difference? If there's a network of things on the left side and right-hand side, we have the Internet of Everything. If we want to digitalize things and processes, we need a lot more from the network. Network has to be intelligent. It has to be a converged network. Everything has to be in the same protocol. The visibility, security, orchestration, and management has to be there. So we kind of separate things in the internet, we put them all together and have governance model on those and build business processes on top of that. So I will show you how much money there is to be earned next 10 years with Internet of Everything economy. So how much value there is on stake. And some companies will take advantage of that, some will not. And those who will and are early will earn a lot of money and be very successful. So how did we define the value at stake? Cisco made a academic study about the potential bottom line value, what in different vertical industries companies can earn as more revenue and less cost, and what is the bottom line effect on those two things. And this was done by analyzing 21 different use cases, and it includes the benefits that those companies will get who are early there and those from the other companies, and shifts between different industries, new innovations and so on. It does not include the losses the other companies will do, but you cannot take all the advantages of Internet of Everything, Internet of Things, Internet of Industrial Internet by this model, because I come why. So my forecast is that there will be a new layer in between with fog, so the cloud coming down. You will hear for sure next 3 years about fog computing a lot. It's not anything happens in the data centers, it happens at the network level. The network devices will be very, very intelligent. And the main reason behind this is that the time a data in a real-time world is valid is very small. If you automate the whole traffic in Lithuania, all the cars are self-driving, and you have to be able to control the traffic to avoid accidents. You have things that you have to decide in, or the system has to decide in milliseconds to brake all the cars at the same time, otherwise they will collapse. And that data, if it's sent to data centers, cloud, and analyzed with big data analysis there, it's too late to brake all the cars. So it's got to be done immediately, here and now. And how that's possible to do then? This is just a kind of graph about the prices, how storage, compute, and bandwidth prices go down, and they will go really, really fast down, especially compute and storage prices. This means that the sensors which will be used all over in the Internet of Everything, are going to be very, very cheap. We all know that in your pocket, when you have the smartphone there, it's thousands of times or more powerful than biggest computers 20 years back. Same is trend is going to continue. It means that the hardware prices go very, very down. They are going to be very, very cheap, and you can manufacture billions of them. We will call them sensors, like we call them now, but sensors today are pretty expensive. But in a couple of years, the sensors, which today cost like $1,000 or $100, are going to cost less than 1 cent, much less than 1 cent. It means that we can put sensors all over, and it means that we are collecting a lot of data, bigger than big data. And that data, the longevity of the data, so the importance of data might be just milliseconds, as I said, or seconds, so you have to act immediately. It might be something else, but the idea is that the sensors are so cheap that if you look old films when the farmers are kind of throwing the seeds on the field, it's the same way you can throw intelligent sensors in the field. And they will tell you the moisture of the field, and they will start all these watering systems when needed, and so on and so forth. They will find all these little animals which are going to eat your grain, and so on and so forth. So therefore, if you go back here, the fog computing means this. You have billions of sensors, you have network who takes the input of those sensors, and the network itself is enabled to immediately calculate and compute the needed things. And this is the new apps world. You have to have these apps which are able to do something. And we, as Cisco, we are building for our kind of network gear in such a way that we have the operating system of iOS, which is the networking operating system, but we have now today putting Linux operating system on all our switches and routers, and we are opening the APIs, application programmable interface for all these things, so that third parties, like many of your companies, can put applications directly on the network, not in the cloud data centers only, and taking all the input and output for the sensors. So it's going to be the fog world. Now this is the sales pitch now. We have a lot of kind of equipment done already for this new phenomena, because we are selling them all the time, and some companies are building these things more and more, and these digitalized processes in industries. But we cannot do it alone. We need partners like yourself. We are more in the services and still in the hardware business. I told that hardware prices will go down, so we have to maybe find another type of business, but we need a lot of partners anyhow to do it. So you should go home and ask yourself and your colleagues which processes you have to digitize before your competitor does it. If you are a software company, what kind of killer apps you could build on different industries. The imagination, that's what you need. What is the platform I should build? What type of partners can help? What kind of network infrastructure is needed to enable this Internet of Everything world? Just imagine what is possible. This is such kind of phenomena that everybody of us can imagine things to be done differently if all their things would be intelligent and they could speak with each other and to human beings and so on. It's a fun game to start to imagine. So as a summary, 99.4% of things are not yet connected. They are going to be connected. And the Internet of Everything connects not only the things, but people, data, and processes especially. The value of these connections is more important than the number of things that are connected. So it's 14.4 trillion in private sector, bottom line money in 10 years, and actually cost savings in the public sector about 5 billion. That was another study we made. And that amount of money will be divided between those companies who win and those who lose, between those countries who are going to be most successful, between those countries who are laggards. Because the country transformation is another big topic. You have to digitalize all the country governance processes. And all these numbers are not from your sleeve. It's real cases which have been done and which are under construction. So, because the stakes are high over 10 years, some companies lose, some win. It's time to act now. So, for the end, I'd like to thank our sponsor here, the 5 Continents and Profit, with whom we do cooperation and who invited us to speak here. So thank you so much. And thank you for all. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Esa. Thank you. I know it's a heavy topic, so we decided not to do a Q&A on stage, but you'll be better off if you come to him on one-on-one basis and just figure out your questions yourself. We'll be back at 3 p.m., so now it's a half an hour break, and we'll see you at 3 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.